Hi guys, welcome to this first edition of Muster Point. Now, the reason we've called this Muster Point is, as you all know, that on ships we have a muster point where everybody comes together, they do drills, they do training sessions, briefings, debriefings, etc. The first topic that we've picked up at Muster Point has got to do with ship insurance. I'm sure your colleges and your curriculum has a lot of information about ship insurance. So we're not going to go there. We're not going to become like a Wikipedia on this. What we are going to do is we are going to break up this into a little interesting topic and share a few. Let's break it up into two main types of insurance, two main types of ship insurance. Okay, so be very careful. The first type is P&I, protection and indemnity. The second type is H&M, that's hull and machinery. This is your ship. Any ship owner, like a car owner or an owner of any other asset, wants to get insurance that can cover them in case there is an unwanted situation or a calamity. In cases of ships, we are first going to talk about protection and indemnity. P&I actually has a lot of history where in the earlier days, now we are talking of 18th century and things like that, there was no concept of a P&I club. Ship owners used to come together and they used to try and find out ways and means of getting refunded, if you like, in cases of calamities. Until when the concept of a P&I club came together. It's a very interesting concept. So think of it like this. All of you are ship owners. Let's say we have 50 of you who all own 2 ships each. What you essentially do is you come together and you put a certain amount of money into a pot as ship owners. And that pot has got money from all the ship owners. Any of your ships has a claim, has a calamity, you can go and fetch money from that pot towards paying for your insurance. This is a very basic profile, I'm telling you. I'll get into a little more detail, but the basis of P&I essentially is that it's called a mutual, where everybody mutually contributes and gets benefit. One of the first things that a P&I insurance provides you is a cover for things like personal injury, where a seafarer can have a personal injury or an illness because of which he or she may have to be repatriated or have medical expenses thereof. That's an example I'm giving you of a protection that a P&I club offers you. The other thing that a P&I club provides an insurance for is what we call third-party damage, which means if your ship is in an unfortunate incident where the ship can have, say, a collision with a fixed body like a jetty or like a buoy, and you are going to have a claim for that damage towards the third party. That is what P&I insurance will cover. The next thing, let's take an example of oil pollution. Supposing there is an oil pollution that happens from your ship whilst you are in port. The port is going to come and ask your ship to pay for the damages, for the cleanup. This again can be looked up by the P&I. War risks, risks that happen in war, is another factor that is covered. Cargo issues are also covered by P&I in certain cases, depending on what sort of a cover do you have. And of course, last but not the least, is the concept of wreck removal. If your ship becomes a wreck, sinks and becomes a wreck, all the costs that are associated with removing that wreck from the water is covered by the P&I Club. So who are these P&I clubs? Where are they? There is an international group. It's called the IG group of P&I clubs. This is something you could actually check online. There are 13 P&I clubs who are a part of this IG group or the international group. Of course, there are many other clubs also which are called fixed premium clubs. So let me tell you something very interesting here on how this P&I cover works. We spoke about the mutual, where all the money is lying together and you can get your claim in case something goes wrong. But what about something very important which you as a ship owner wants to know is how much premium do you pay? Now this premium is also decided on the basis of whatever expenses, if you like, that come out through that pot in the last year. But there are some clubs which have this policy available, which is called a fixed premium policy. You can read a bit more about that. But essentially, P&I clubs are there to protect you as a ship owner. The next type of insurance policy which you as a ship owner have is called the hull and machinery. Your hull, your ship's hull, and your ship's machinery. So, in case you have an accident where your ship's hull is damaged and you are going to have certain repair that has to be carried forward, this has got to be paid for. That is done by the hull and machinery underwriter or insurance company. Machinery, let us say your engine room, your auxiliary engines, your main engines, your boiler, or any other equipment has something that goes wrong with it, then you could have that too covered by your hull and machinery or the H&M policy. But how do you get paid? Someone has to analyze the cost of the damage, whether it's a P&I claim or it's a hull and machinery claim. So that is when you hear words such as correspondence. A correspondent is a link between the insurance company and the ship owner in a country where neither may be from. Your ship may be in Germany, your club could be in London. There could be a correspondent in between who will liaise between the two. The correspondent will get in touch with the agents. The correspondent will call surveyors. These are the surveyors who will come and who will analyze the amount of damage that has happened in case of your claim. Worst case scenario, if your claim or the situation goes into court, goes into litigation, then these correspondents will also be handy in appointing law firms that could come into the picture. So here it is, the first episode of Master Point with Offing, where we have discussed the very basics of ship insurance, P&I, hull and machinery. We urge you to go online, to get into your books, to read that you can, to watch videos that you can, and come up with your own understanding of the subject to a higher level. Of course, you can post your questions on this video in the comments below, and we will be very happy to address them. Please share this video with as many students as you can in your college. And guess what? We will have many more. Thank you for watching.